Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Being Human Now show. I'm your host, Jennifer Locksmith, and today we have Ashley Sage with us.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. Ashley has a YouTube channel called Ashley Sage Esoterics,
It's a
and
mouthful, sorry.
I almost said no. Yes, and on it, she's the host of a show called Fortune Fridays, where she goes through the astrological signs and gives you a forecast for the week, which is awesome. So that's kind of a very short introduction. So would you mind just oh my goodness, introducing yourself a little more for the audience and for people that may not have heard of you before? I mean, I looked into you a little bit and it seems like you've been involved in the esoteric practically from the womb, that
Pretty
it was kind of
much.
your calling. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's kind of just a part of life. The esoterics is kind of, there's levels of, I guess you could say, initiation into this like spiritual advancement, right? People call it ascending, call it, oh,
Oops,
sorry, the
that's okay.
cats are fighting. My apologies. There's levels of like initiation, like ascending or moving into 5D, however you want to put it,
Yeah.
right? So moving into the esoteric realm is moving into the spiritual connection of the spiritual side and your physical side and how they mesh together. So connecting to yourself, connecting to your body, and connecting to source, spirit, God, the creator, however we choose to call that energy, the god, the goddess, right?
Hmm.
Whatever you connect to is whatever you connect to. So getting into the esoterics is that movement into that little bit. And I've been doing it, like I said, almost my whole life. I was raised
Yeah.
in the church for a
Hmm.
good part of my life. And I always knew there
Yeah.
was something more that I was missing. Like there was something I wasn't being taught. There was something I wasn't being guided into. So I started doing my own kind of research into it. I got into astrology, I got into numerology, I used to read palms. So I kind of went through a few of the like techniques and getting into it and energy healing. And then I got into the tarot and it just kind of stuck, which is really cool. And I kind of do everything all at the same time and getting into with the esoteric part, getting into like connecting to the earth in a different way. So using herbs to help clear your body or clear your mind or detox is usually the human term to call it. So I've been
Yeah.
kind of just dabbling in all the fun esoteric spiritual woo woo stuff since I was a child, and it was very accepted in my family as well because
Hmm.
spirituality is a very vast concept,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yes, yes. Well, that's awesome. You're dabbling in the true original medicines. You're actually like
Yeah.
probably healing instead of just treating. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So yeah, so speaking of, so you got interested in tarot, you started really studying it in 2008. So what is tarot?
Tarot in the basis form, and this is how I love to explain it, is just
Hmm.
a form, it's a language that we use to
Hmm.
connect to our higher selves or to creator.
Yeah.
So it's a language. The pictures are a full language. Every picture, every card is like a word or a part of a sentence. And once you get all the pictures together, they create your whole explanation to guide you into the next form of your spiritual advancement, the next, how to buy your next vehicle, where to
Yeah.
invest your money, right? So it's just a nice little language of connecting to the spiritual realm because as much as we all love to speak English, sometimes the spiritual realm doesn't really use that
Hmm.
language. So it's
Yeah.
like a nice little interpretive dance coming from the spirit realm into the cards
Yeah.
and something that I can interpret for everybody.
Yeah. So it's like syncs
Yeah.
us up with the divine, I feel,
Yeah.
similar to astrology. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like connecting different cables
Yeah.
just so that you can see the image, whereas like the image comes from the cards, and then I just connect all the cables as we go.
I love it. I love it. Well, I'm
Yeah,
excited. We're gonna do a reading in a little bit, but but first I know, I mean, I'm not that familiar with it, so I'm just kind of learning from you.
yeah,
Um,
okay.
but I have heard that there are certain cards that freak people out. For instance, like the death card, right?
Yeah.
Um, so would you mind just giving some clarity to people about like some of these cards and that maybe they're a bit misunderstood?
Yes.
Yeah.
So there are definitely a few cards that are visually jarring, and or the name, the death, and there's the
Mm-hmm.
devil. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, we were like, "Oh my God, that's awful. Things are happening." And of course, the visual of them feel awful. But the meaning behind like the death card is just change. It's your change. one part of you has to die to open up to the next.
Yeah.
It's part of aging, it's part of growing, it's part of the communication of the cards.
Hmm.
Same with the devil. Sometimes we're bedeviled
Hmm.
by a situation, and that's when the devil comes up. You are bedeviled by it. You are bedeviled in your financial house, right? It's bedeviling to have this much money. It's bedeviling to have this little money, right? Or like a love relationship, if you're dealing with
Hmm.
a romantic partner, you are bedeviled by this person. You're,
Hmm.
why am I so attracted? It's
Right.
bedeviling,
Hmm.
right? So little things like that. And a lot of cards just have like a jarring visual. So it could represent that emotional feeling that's coming out and
Hmm.
set kind of a tone. But like I said before, it's like a language. So you can have one part of the sentence, it might say death, but it might just say, through this death, big
Hmm.
changes will come
Yeah.
that are going to be gratifying, right? Or that might not be as gratifying. So it depends on how many cards you're pulling out and the cards, how they're speaking to each other. That's
Hmm.
how we get the full communication. So the one card, the one word might say one thing, but it might represent a whole aspect of your life that's coming into your foreground or leaving, which is sometimes a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. It's like a
Yeah.
conversation.
A full conversation with the spirit realm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, oh goodness, I was like, so one thing I did, you ha did have a past show that I really enjoyed in it to just everyone check it out, although you haven't done it in a while. It's called the Fairy Chat Show. That's also on your channel, Ashley Sage Esoterics channel. And I just wanted to bring up some things here because I think it's relevant to the show and just like lovely before we get into our reading. And it's kind of in the same vein that you had a really beautiful way. You had some beautiful advice, I should say, and a way of explaining it for people on how to successfully manifest.
Mm.
Um, do you have any advice you're willing to give people right here, right now, of like how to successfully manifest? I believe it was just to jog your memory, the way that we can sometimes cast spells on ourselves, I guess, with how we talk or how we ask for something. That was the vein in which you were saying. I just love the way you explained it, that you talk about it as if you already had it in a way. Would you mind just going into that a little?
Yeah. So when we get into manifesting, of course, there's lots of factors that kind of come into play. But
Mm-hmm.
one of the biggest things of manifesting is our own minds will play tricks on us,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's the ego, the human brain will kind of be like, you're not worthy enough, or like, why do you want that? Or how do
Yeah.
you think you're going to get that? So one of the things of manifesting is definitely thinking as if you've already have it and feeling that in your body, the human emotion, like we have such a vast range of emotion
Yeah.
that you can play with when we're manifesting. So you want to sit in that, oh my God, I'm so worthy emotion. So getting to
Mm-hmm.
that emotional state always helps. And then, of course, visualizing, like if you want a loving relationship, you want this new home, visualize what it's like walking around or cooking dinner in this home. Like, how would that feel to you? So
Yeah.
sitting in that as if you already have it will help you kind of change your frequency or your
Mm-hmm.
manifesting power or your thought process to get
Mm-hmm.
to a level where you can actually manifest that in, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes if we're thinking we're not worthy enough, like, oh, I really want that really beautiful house, but like I don't deserve it. You have to get
Yeah.
out of that mindset and get up there. So sometimes just sitting in that I already have it mindset
Yeah.
will help you kind of level, like take the next step, like just moving up the ladder into
Mm-hmm.
that kind of area of thinking, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's one of the think of like staying in your power, staying in your worthiness, and just knowing
Yeah.
like if you really want that, you can achieve it, but there's steps you're going to have to get to it. And of course, I 10 out of 10, like sometimes we can manifest stuff out of nowhere, like a free home would be great. But of
Yeah.
course, there's steps to it, right? So, how do we do those steps? And just even just sitting in that knowledge and that like empowerment that we deserve it will help you get those steps to get to that next point, whether it's finding a different job or maximizing your day for potentially other investments or,
Yeah.
meeting somebody who has that house, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it levels you up. So it's a
Hmm.
mind body process of getting into your potential.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
sometimes if you don't get it right, like, oh, what did I hear? Our rejections are our protections.
Yeah.
So something better will come along if you don't always get what you want.
Always.
Yeah.
Right. Because
Yeah.
you might really get really close to that one house or that one partner. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden the universe pulls it away. And we're like, what? Why?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
because they usually have something that's a little bit better, or maybe it just you're not at that level yet, or
Yeah.
that thing might, the house that you really manifested might have really bad mold problem,
Yeah.
right? And they're like, you don't want to be there because your health will be in detriment because of it,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, rejection is usually a protection, and it's just a matter of like, okay, no, this is what I want, and it keeps you on that mindset. It's not of like you're unworthy, because it'll pull you back down to that unworthiness. So you got to
Yeah.
keep up and be like, okay, well, if it's not that house, okay, let's tweak it a little bit. I want this house,
Yeah.
but no mold. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just
Or
like,
I
thank
want,
goodness that didn't work out. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I love that. Thank you so much for that explanation.
yeah, no
Um,
problem.
yeah, and so what else? I kind of wanted to bring back around. So as I mentioned, I mentioned in my email to you, and one of the things you talked about is also the importance of being true to ourselves. And hey, it's the year of the snake, and just like we've already kind of mentioned, shedding the
Yep,
old and
yep.
moving into the new. Are you seeing that in the cards? I know you're doing readings every week. Is that resonating with the year of the snake? Are you finding that?
It really is. And
Mm,
every year is kind of a little bit different. And of course, it depends on your Chinese year as well, how
yeah.
it's going to affect you differently. But with the year of the snake, it is like it's a rebirth, it's a shedding, it's a transformation. So we have to get out of one zone to get into the next. And
Hmm.
transformation is never easy, right?
Yeah.
As much as we want it to be.
Yeah.
Right? Moving
Yeah.
to the next level or the next image or the next shed is there's a sense of discomfort. And through those discomforts, that's where we tend to grow as humans. So staying true to yourself or staying in your own power, your own essence is more important so that you know where you sit with yourself, right? We don't
Hmm.
need to prove it to anybody else, but sitting in your power and staying true to who you are and what you bring to the table or like where you want to go will help
Hmm.
that transformation make sense more to you,
Yeah.
right? So if you're
Yeah.
transforming into like a more spiritual being or a happier person, which is
Yeah.
always hard, or like a more understanding person, there's that little transformational bit where we shed or we're too big for our self or
Yeah.
vessel that we
Yeah.
have to burst out of it and expand into something different, right?
Yeah.
So we're just finishing up that last little bit of the snake here. So it's like this is could be that big push, especially with the astrology of October, right?
Mm.
Which is kind of a big transformational month as well.
Yeah.
People might start feeling it a little bit more in this year. So figuring out ways to kind of handle that shift or the
Yeah.
transform or is going to be really cool, like really hard, kind of cool at the same time, but staying true into your system, your beliefs, who you are, and
Hmm.
where you want to go is
Yeah.
always more important, right? Because we're not,
Yes.
if you're doing it for somebody else, it's not really going to work out the best way. So
Yeah.
sticking true to yourself is always key,
It's exciting. I just
right?
keep
It
saying it. We're in
is.
such exciting times. We really
And
are.
it's super exciting, but it is tricky and it's scared and
Yeah.
it's like the kind of card in the tarot deck, the moon, right?
Hmm.
It seems scary, but once you get through it, you're like, oh, I made it through, right?
Yeah.
So getting through that weird transformational doorway is always tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm feeling
But
it, but I'm excited. We're gonna
right,
persevere.
yes.
That's awesome. So one other thing I wanted to ask you before we kind of jump into the readings. Um, um, so your show is no longer happening, but it was called the Fairy Chat Show.
Yeah.
And so I kind of got a sense that you have an interest in fairies.
Hmm.
Is this the case? And if so, how did you get interested in fairies? And if you have any stories, that would be cool too.
Oh my God. So once again, I've been around that kind of energy since I was a kid. I just never really could kind of pinpoint what it was. The
Hmm.
fairy chats are on hold. Life gets in the way. Me and Helen are still great friends. We still talk. So nothing happened there. It's just like life kind of just takes over. And sometimes
Yeah.
you need to take a little bit of a break. They will be back at some point,
Yeah, they're
right?
awesome. I
And
listened to some of them.
right.
You guys did a great job.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
we had and it's like I said, nothing's happened. It's just
Yeah.
life gets in the way, right?
Yeah.
Regular
Yeah.
human life. But
Absolutely.
the thing about connecting to the fairy energy is like it's connecting to like just plants and water and life or the rocks or just those small little beautiful energies. So it's always been around, which I've
Yeah.
always, loved doing. And as I was connecting into a different part of my spiritual journey, I went for a group meditation. And during that meditation, the girl was connecting us to our dragons and our fairies. And I was like, hey, whatever. Right. At the point, I didn't really like, I was like, hey, whatever. Like, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Sure enough, I closed my eyes for the meditation and I like have a very active imagination. So in my head, I could just kind of like pull up whatever. And I was like, okay, whatever. But I opened my eyes for a split second and I saw this light and it was very dim. We had light, like those fake candles lit. There was
Yeah.
about 12 of us in a circle and the girl leading it. And all of a sudden I saw this bright light kind of float into me and it landed on my knee. And it was like this little fairy thing.
Oh
And
my gosh.
it looked at me and went, are you ready? And took off and sat on the girl's knee who was
Oh,
leading the meditation. And I went, and it was like,
yeah.
and I've had really intense visuals in my practice with a
Yeah.
few different things, but that was like, I was like, oh, this is real. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, let's see where this goes. Right. And it doesn't
Yes.
always happen like that for everybody, but that was a big thing. I'm friends with the girl who led the meditation that time. She's still a
Uh-huh.
great friend of mine. So
Yeah.
we talk often because I was like, okay, this girl's legit, right? Like knowing that she's connecting to something that's actual genuine.
Yeah.
And I have a spiritual connection with myself and with creator, source, however you want to
Mhm.
call it, that I know is genuine. So when I tap into that, I'm protecting myself from anything that's negative coming through,
Mhm.
right? Because I don't want to connect to anything I don't need. And when
Right.
that came through, I was like, wait, holy, I was like, really put back.
Yeah.
So it forced me to get a little bit more in touch with that fairy side, just a little bit more, because I was like, okay, they have a meaning,
Yeah.
right? And it doesn't resonate with everybody, which is totally fine. If you don't feel connected to fairies, it's fine. It's not like at detriment to you or at detriment to me.
Yeah.
But it was definitely something I was like, okay, I have to pay attention to this because it was a super strong visual, right? It
Mhm.
was like, it wasn't like actual physical, but it was like this beauty flowing kind of like whimsical energy that came through and I was like just shocked. So yeah, that was one of the reasons I got connected to it. And then my beautiful friend Helen lives
Yeah.
in Scotland and she's connected to it. We met through the internet
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
started doing those fairy chats because it was just we had that calling, the fairy energy wanted to come through. So we had some great shows that came up, and I'm so glad they're still around, and I'm so glad people still watch them because it still resonates. It's not in the moment, you know. My Fortune Fridays are just week by week, whereas those fairy
Yeah.
chats they're expansive, so you can just sit with that energy and hold on to it.
Yeah. They're beautiful and very helpful. Um, oh, that's so cool. So was it, I'm just trying to get a visual here. So was it bright? Did it have a was it a, what did it look like? Or was it just more a bright light? I'm just
It
so
was a
fascinated by this.
I know, and I have a few of my friends and family members who have seen fairy imagery since
Hmm.
then, and it depends on where your mind is sitting, how it's going to show up. So what started out as this bright light, and then when it was on my knee, of course I had like these it had two really beautiful sets of wings, but it was almost like this softer version, not like the typical like soft, 80s, 90s elegant fairy look, but it was like
Yeah.
this soft little creature that kind of had a human face
Hmm.
and it just had this sprite like energy to it.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, and it just had an aura of like sweetness and
Hmm.
love and joy and like genuine. I knew it didn't have any ulterior motives because that's the only thing. It didn't try to, trickster energy me or anything. It was just like, you
Yeah.
ready? And I
Yeah.
was like,
Oh, that is so cool and
let's
exciting.
go.
I'm
Right?
curious, and you don't have to answer this if it's too
Oh,
personal,
good.
but I listen to Modern Fairy Sightings podcast. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but if you're not
Oh,
listening, you should because it's so good. Joe Hickey Hall hosts it. And
okay.
she's noticed that a lot of people that have experience with fairies, it's almost like they're like almost of the angelic realm or something like that. Like basically,
Yeah.
a lot of people have sightings when they're going through a difficult time or they're about to go through a
Oh,
big life transition. Were you about to go through a big life transition then?
yeah.
And
Because
she was asking you if you're ready.
yeah, because by then I was already doing tarot for smaller groups, but at the time it was a big, expansive time for me going through one, life, and two, my spirituality,
Yeah.
because it's ever growing. Like once you've mastered it, or if you think you've mastered your spirituality, it kind of will give you a little spanking and
Yeah.
remind you that you haven't,
Yeah.
right? So it's always like an ever learning thing. So I was going
Mhm.
through a really big time. I had no idea, but I got into this really big time at the moment. And there was a girl actually who was leading, not the girl that helped me through that meditation, but there was
Yeah.
a girl in the spiritual community here where I live that was kind of spreading false information. And I had to remind a bunch of people, I was like, the spirit world doesn't talk to you like that.
Hmm.
Right. So it was a big shift of one, knowing that where I'm coming from is a good place, because a lot of people do question what I do, and that's totally fine.
Mm.
But knowing where I come from, knowing where the connection is, and knowing how the spirit realm connects to other people, she was almost being mean
Yeah.
from the spirit realm. And I was like, that they don't do that. I was like,
Yeah.
that's not where you should be. So she
Yeah.
was either not channeling or channeling from a place that she shouldn't be channeling.
Yeah.
So it was a big transformational part at the time. And then it just helped me kind of grow to the next level of what I needed to be at.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so cool. Yeah.
So
Oh, I
yeah,
love
that
that.
definitely, that really makes sense. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. I love it. Yeah. So do we want to get into some readings? I'm thinking I'm
Sure.
gonna leave it up to you what you think is best. So we're like,
Do you have any
yeah.
like ideas of like the questions you kind of want to do? Do we want to do
So
like a big general?
yeah, so I'm thinking maybe would it be, is it weird to ask for a reading for like first the US and then a different reading for the world? Is that
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And
It'd be good
then
to break it down. Yeah, just see
yeah,
what's coming in.
yeah. And
Mhm.
then I don't know if we should do for the month of October or should we do the rest of the year? I don't know, like what kind
Let's
of
do
question?
October. Let's
Okay.
do October for the US. Let's just see how October is going to play out, because
Okay.
the astrology is pretty interesting for the rest of the month. So let's take a look.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, the US of A for October.
And this is what is it? It is October 3rd today.
Yes.
Just,
So I'll lay this out. I am going to push my camera back real quick
okay.
just so that we can see everything, and let me know if you can't or can see all the cards, because I
Okay.
can shift that. See, once again, shocking cards,
Oh,
right?
wow.
So it feels scary, but we got to keep going. We got to get the whole language.
Okay. I can sort
Okay.
of see them from a distance, so if you could just hold the
Hold
ones,
on.
I'm sure you'll hold them up when you talk about them, right? Yeah.
Whoa, there we go. Yeah, I'll have to hold them up. Oh, wait, can
Okay.
you kind of see them? There we go.
Yeah. I
But
feel
I
like
can.
the camera's
Okay.
precariously placed. Okay, we're good.
It's awful, right? I was like, how do I set this up so we can all see? Okay, so in this reading, we're going the US in the month of October. So it
Okay.
is going to be quite shocking. So this is the US. We're going through a big change. This is called the justice, or not justice. This is called the judgment. So in the judgment card, this is a big wake up. It's a big realization. And currently, right now in the US, it is a little bit of this, right? There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of stuff already happening. Going forward with the Tower card, this, of course, feels shocking as well. This is like a big wake up moment as well. These are two big wake up calls. So there could be something, and of course, you've already started, but throughout the month of October, there could be a lot of more of going on in the working systems, because this is the US in the month of October currently, and then this is into the future. So
Okay.
currently, when we have our Hierophant here, this is our interworking like government systems,
Mm.
right? So this
Wow.
is kind of like what's been going on throughout the political state, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the whole government system is kind of jarring everybody. So what's going on right now is going to change a little bit going forward. In the future, we have our Nine of Swords, so it doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel good. And once again, it feels very jarring. When you look at it, it's very scary looking card. But this
Yeah.
person is sleeping in bed, and this person is worrying about all these thoughts. So swords are our thoughts and our words. So we're worried about everything, all this information that's coming in. We might be bombarded in the US with all the information that comes in over the next month, which would
Mm.
make sense, right?
Yeah.
Especially with our government systems, right? We might get an update every other day about what's going on,
Yeah.
right? How things are getting figured out, how things are going to start working. What are we doing? Are we back online? Right? So the rest
Hmm.
of the month might be a little bit chaos with those. These are our
Yes.
two clarifier cards. So we have our Nine of Pentacles,
Okay.
and then what is this? Our Hangman. Once again, feels scary. This one's definitely not. So
Okay.
with the Nine of Pentacles, this is a really good card. This actually could be something very positive concerning finances, because this Nine of Pentacles is underneath the US card, right? So this is the US. So it comes up as a judgment, but there could be something that either you guys come together as a whole, whether it's state by state or the whole country, kind of comes together and starts working together a little bit differently. This could also be actually a little bit better financially with the Nine of
Hmm.
Pentacles, or something really good happens that it works. The government system might work better going forward. We just have to kind of sit and wait it out a little bit. This is a waiting card,
Oh,
right?
okay.
As you can see, he's yes, he is strung up, but he's hung here by just one foot, and his hands are just placed behind his back. He's not in binds. He's not stuck. He can't, he's free to leave at will, right? So
Okay.
this is like, we just have to wait it out and just see what kind of information kind of comes up over the next couple weeks, right? Let the system kind of play out. So you might need to sit back and kind of hang out, watch the news, see what kind of comes out, because it feels like there is going to be a lot of jarring information coming out almost weekly, right?
Wow.
Kind
Okay.
of the theme of the year, though, a little bit, as what we've kind of been seeing over the last little bit. So it does
Uh-huh.
feel like it kind of jars, but it doesn't feel like this isn't like the end of the world. This doesn't feel like a battle. This doesn't feel like you should be stressing out about your safety, right?
Okay.
Because it definitely feels like we're safe, but we just got to hunker down a smidge.
Just hang out and see what happens, kind of.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Yeah, but
So
so it
all in
seems like
all,
it's going in a positive direction. Or
yes, even
okay.
though it's shocking right now,
Yeah.
right? Which makes
Yeah.
sense. And who knows? By the time this, everybody starts watching this at certain points, there might be more information that's come out, right? There
Yeah.
might be more announcements, there might be more changes, right?
Yeah.
Seems to
Yeah.
be a theme in the last little bit of, weekly updates
Oh
of
my
what's
goodness.
going on.
I know. Things are
Yeah.
changing very quickly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The transformation keeps changing, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. That was
No
cool.
problem. Right. Kind of cool.
Yeah. And do you always do that setup? Is that the amount of
It's
cards you
the
use, or does it depend on the situation that the questions that are asked?
Yeah, it depends on the question that's being asked, how much information I need. That's the basic setup is called a kachina knife with
Okay.
the situation, what's going on. We have the
Hmm.
past card, the present, and then into the future, and then always two clarifiers. Sometimes I'll pull more, sometimes there's different ways to lay out cards for different questions, different information, different, depending on how big the question is, I might need more information,
Yeah.
right? Depending
Yeah.
on where we're going, and right, something like the US, let's keep it very basic, very quick, right? And
Hmm.
just see the general outcome. Let's make sure we're all going to be okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And we are. We're just hanging out waiting to see what happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's hunker down and see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So do we want to do one for
The
the
world.
whole world for
Okay.
October?
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Do you want to pick the card or the pile?
Sure.
How about a little bit? So pile one, two, or three.
Okay. Two.
Okay. See, much different situation, right?
Oh wow, okay.
A different card. So that's the visual could be jarring, but at the same time, we have to see what else is going on. Aw, with the world. So this is the world and what we need to kind of look out for, what we're could be expecting over the next month. In the past, we do have the world. Presently, we have the Page of Cups, which is very delicate. Cups represent our emotional state,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there could be this new emotional feeling that could be coming up. Oh, and of course, as we expected, another jarring
Oh yeah.
card, our beautiful devil there. So it's bedeviled. So it kind of seems like this might be a theme, but going forward, in the general world sense, we're feeling pretty good as a whole in the world because we're coming up as a fool. And then we have the magician. So we're kind of just waiting out, like, let's see what's going on, right? There
Mm-hmm.
isn't much a lot of people can do given the circumstances of how to handle certain situations, especially all over the world. So
Mm-hmm.
we're just, everybody seems to kind of just be like, okay, let's just wait to see what happens, right?
Okay.
Going forward, as our advice, we have the magician. So the magician is the beginning stages.
Mm-hmm.
He is learning all the tools of the trade. He's faking it till he makes it kind of deal. So
Mm-hmm.
this is the world right now. We're like, okay, what do I get to work with? Right? What kind of information is coming out? You know, where is everything kind of going? Let's figure out that those steps first before we
Yeah.
can make our next step into our journey.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, we have our Page of Cups. So there is a lot of emotional uh, things kind of just being tossed around, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this is like everybody's very vulnerable, very like what's going on. The state of the world is very all over the place. So this is
Yeah.
a very like fitting card for everybody,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is a the Page of Cups. He's the beginning of an emotion, right? This is like,
Okay.
oh, very vulnerable, sensitive, kind of like I don't know if I'm safe here, right?
Yeah.
So we're kind of all feeling the same. Going
Yeah.
for the month of October into the future, this is our into the future card. We have the Four of Pentacles, which is really good. So it kind
Okay.
of seems like we get a little reprieve of chaos, potentially physically, right?
Okay.
But it does feel like a lot of people are going to probably hunker down, stay inside their home,
Mm.
focus on like more important things instead of
Right.
like as much travel or like getting out there. There could be a
Yeah.
little bit of like, and we were just talking about this today with our internet
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
fun and exciting. There could be a little bit of like, um, I feel like there might be like some kind of like internet shortage for a little bit, like 1 or 2 days here and there, right? Where
Yeah.
it could be like tricky to kind of communicate with a few different people, right?
Mm.
Given the state of the world, that kind of makes sense, right? There might be
Yeah.
access to different cities might just be a little bit harder to communicate,
Mm-hmm.
or getting like, if you have family overseas, it might be a little bit harder to get a hold of them certain days than other days, just with the
Yeah.
way the internet is working, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And just to bring everybody down a bit,
Yeah.
this guy
Yeah.
doesn't mean the devil's coming to get us. Okay. So he's not coming to get us. Okay.
Yes.
We, right. We
Yeah.
are going to be bedeviled by the rest of the month. Right. And
Okay.
sometimes hunkering down might be the best idea. Right.
Okay.
So as a general whole, I don't usually give too much advice, but if you can avoid unnecessary potential travel or flights, I would say you might want to do that. It might be best just to kind of hang out at home and just this is where I'm kind of getting is like you might not want to go on vacation for the rest of the month, which is fine, right? The state of the
Yeah.
world is a little tricky and like financially not everybody's doing the best or you don't want to be stuck somewhere you can't get home is what I'm
Yeah.
feeling. Right. I think being at home is going to be the best for most people, but it doesn't feel like anything awful is happening. This doesn't feel like the world's not coming to an end, right? Which
Yeah.
is really cool. I'm gonna pull two more just to see.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny you say
Okay.
that. There's internet outages happening. I just saw something, I think it's a
Yeah.
country in the Middle East, don't quote me. I don't know, maybe you saw this too. They're having to drive to like a certain border just to get internet right now.
Right. So
So,
that could be a thing. So I kind of feel like
yeah.
that could be a thing. And it just feels like kind of communication. And once again, I got the six because I pulled two more just to see. I'll usually
Yeah.
pull two more just to get a little bit more clarified because we're talking about such a big question,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I got the Six of Swords with the Queen
Okay.
of Pentacles. So with the Six of
Okay.
Swords, this is moving out of troubled water, but this is also has to do with thoughts and communication. So it does feel like by the end of the month, it starts to get better. So there might only be like 1 or 2 weeks where it's like hard to get online. You might not be able to get your flight booked, right?
Hmm.
The gas, like they might close some of the highways.
Yeah.
Something about like communication is off, right? Or you
Okay.
might, try to go somewhere and then all of a sudden you realize you're stuck on the road. Right? Because
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
map stops working on your phone, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it does feel like in general, safety wise, the world is in general a safe place, right? Even
Okay.
though there's a lot of unsafe things happening, but staying home, staying close to home, or like if you have to travel home,
Okay.
just make sure you feel good about doing it, right? Trust your intuition a little bit. Don't do
Yeah.
it out of panic, especially with this guy here. Don't
Uh-huh.
panic and do something because this guy wants you to panic and do it,
Nice. Good to
right?
know.
Let's not do that.
Yeah.
But with the Six of Swords going into our Queen of Pentacles, I feel like we have safe passage, safe travels. Like in general, the world is just, moving into a better place and collecting information, which I think is key.
Yeah.
Right? The more information we have on all the whole everything,
Yeah.
right? The better kind of advice we can give ourselves and the better we can act going forward. Right?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Okay, good to know. Yes, collect information, but nothing to be worried about. We're just going to hang out, figure it out. There's
Yeah.
no big disasters or horrible events coming to cause this. It's just a weird,
No,
fluky type
I don't,
stuff.
yeah, the end of the world is definitely not coming. And of course, I can't speak to every part of the world, but safety is a thing, but it doesn't feel like we're all going to leave the earth
Yeah.
planet anytime soon. I think we're good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're good. Yeah, good times are coming, I think. I think I already said that, but
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for that, Ashley. I appreciate it. And I know the
Yeah.
viewers will too. And
Yeah, hopefully.
so, yeah, and you'll help people to just be more relaxed now. They'll remember your eating. If stuff goes down, like, oh, she said
Right.
not to panic. We're just gonna eat some ice
Hunker
cream and hang at
down.
home.
Yeah. Yeah, because we sometimes we have to let our government systems kind of do their thing,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
it's not fun just staying at home. And I'm not saying you have to lock yourself in your house, but sometimes hunkering down and getting ready for if you celebrate Halloween, getting
Yeah.
ready for Halloween, or celebrating to hunker down for the winter.
Yeah.
I'm up in Canada and it gets really cold. It's already getting cold here, so it's
Yeah.
like time
Yeah.
to bust out the quilts and get the house ready just for the winter, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes it's better just to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go check out the leaves.
Yeah, right? Go hang
Yeah.
out, get a nice coffee, take a walk,
Yeah.
and focus on internal things as opposed to too external. Yeah.
Yeah. I love
Yeah.
it. Thank you so much.
You're
So
welcome.
we're kind of wrapping up. Do you
Okay.
have I mean, do you have a message, anything on your heart that you'd like to talk about, or a message you'd like to leave people before we kind of, I know that's
Ooh,
a big question, but I feel
that
like,
is. And it's a beautiful question though.
yeah,
Because I think one of the things, and uh, which applies to our questions that we asked, is we live in uncertain, scary times. And one of the things that I do recommend to a lot of people in my readings, it's not just me predicting the future. I'm not just a genie in a bottle. I do give a lot of really good life advice and help you through your problems. And one of the things I always want people to focus on is, how is things making you feel? The world sometimes doesn't make us feel good,
yeah,
but focusing on your home, your bedding, your health, right? Focusing on what's healthier for you, right?
hmm,
Putting the phone down for 10 minutes, turning off the TV for 10 minutes, focusing on something that's a little bit more for you. And that
hmm,
connection to yourself will
hmm,
help you have a better connection to your joy center, your happiness. If you want to connect to the higher divine, it'll help you connect there. Find
yeah,
something that's grounding and like stable for you. That could even be, I don't know, playing your favorite song while you make breakfast. It's
yeah,
whatever it might be. Find something that's really stable and satisfying and gratifying for you, and make sure you do one thing a day for yourself just to maintain your sanity and your happiness,
yeah,
right? Because
yeah,
it'll help you keep grounded in your body. And we are bombarded with so much information that sometimes it's too much to handle. So we
yeah.
want to make sure we have something to hold on to that's real. And oh, sorry.
Your baby. Oh,
Yes,
hi,
one of the boys came to say hi. This is Mr. Toad.
baby. Hi, Mr. Toad. You're beautiful.
He's like, I got to make an appearance on the internet. He
Yeah.
loves being on video.
Oh, good. Well, I'm happy to have him. He's welcome to join us. He might have something to say.
But yeah, this is his version of saying hi. Like sometimes you gotta just,
Yeah,
take time just for
yeah,
something small and fun and get
yeah,
yourself out of the whirlwind that is the internet. Even though I love the internet, sometimes you got to
yeah,
turn it off, right?
yeah. It's a
So yeah,
tool. It can be helpful, but also detrimental and a little too time consuming. Yeah.
yeah, and it's vast and expansive, right? So
Hmm.
pick and choose where you go, and if you have to just listen to that fun playlist while you make breakfast or do your dishes, that's
Yeah,
what you need to do. Yeah,
absolutely. I love that advice. And I remember, just like we're here for such a short time.
we're
And
in the
I
grand scheme
mean,
of things. It is, yeah.
yeah, and I don't think a lot of people think on a daily basis, like, how am I spending my time? You know, um,
Mhm.
And I just think what you said is really beautiful. Focus on you and filling yourself up and not don't
Yeah.
get too sucked into the outside world because that will
Mhm.
come and go just like it has in the past and it will in the future. But you're here for this really in the grand scheme of things, a short amount of time. So focus on you. Yeah.
Yeah, focus on the tiny things that make you happy. Small, I call them small wins. And sometimes
Yeah.
you need a small win every day, right?
Yeah.
Or at least once a week. And you can ask your higher self, your God, creator, the grass. I don't care who you talk to,
Yeah.
right? Just ask them for a small win. Say, I need a small win. And who knows, maybe you'll find $5 on the floor, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, have you ever seen those videos and you've probably done it where people are actually communicating with the trees and asking them to touch them?
Yeah.
Have you experienced this? Or
I've never fully asked them to communicate that way, but
yeah.
I have. I am that weird neighbor on the block that hugs my trees outside, and when I'm getting in
Yeah.
and out of my car,
Yep.
because it's for me, it's everything has an energy cycle,
Yeah.
right? And it's
Yeah.
all they can in modern science now. They have like machines that can find your magnetic frequency or the auric field is what we like to call it, or like the energy output of things.
Yeah.
And trees have a certain energy output, so do plants, so do animals, so do humans,
Yeah.
right? So that's what you're connecting to. You're connecting to their magnetic field, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
the more you
creator.
connect, the more you make time for yourself
Mm.
and time for that tree, it'll
Yeah.
connect to you.
Yeah. And
Yeah, whether
creators
you
and
just feel
everything, right?
good sitting under it or it yeah, whether reaches out and touches you, which I think is really adorable.
Yeah. Oh no, you're like freezing a little bit. No. Can you still hear me?
Oh, great.
Okay.
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay, you're good.
Is
Thankfully,
that
it's
better?
happening towards the end.
Okay, we're back.
Okay, we're good. We're good. Yeah,
Our
no, it's
good
so
old
fun.
internet. Oh my goodness
Yeah.
gracious.
Yeah, I know. Um, okay, well, let me think. I guess, well, where can people, you do readings, right? You
Hmm.
do personal readings for people.
Yeah.
And do you have, I have the site written
Yeah.
down. Do you want me to read it or do you want to say it where people can book a reading with you? Personal reading.
Well, it's on my I'll send you my links as well. So if you want to
Yes.
link it, you can. But it's
Yes.
on my Instagram is sage.ism. There's a booking link to my Square site, which is Ashley Sage at Square site. There's
Okay.
my YouTube, Ashley Sage Esoterics, and all the links are on there as well. So you
Hmm.
can reach out however you feel is right and fair to connect and book an appointment. I do tarot readings, I do house cleanings, energetic clearings, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Awesome. So you're helping us. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. It
You're
was a pleasure
appreciated.
being.
Yes, I
Aw,
will put your links in the description, so making them nice and easy to find.
awesome. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. It was so
Thank
much
you.
fun being on here today.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming. I had fun too, and I learned a lot.
Oh,
So,
good. I'm glad.
yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much and take care. Goodbye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.